know what the word nada means.
Flashback.
Under the Trump administration, we will revoke the student visas of radical anti-American and anti-Semitic foreigners at our colleges and universities, and we will send them straight back home. They go back home. Enjoy your life. Likewise, the mobs, literally barbarians that we saw on the streets of New York and other cities last week have no place in America. We can't have it. We have to. No country can sustain it. And we all want to be nice, but no country can sustain it. Jewish mothers and fathers should never have to send their children to school fearing they'll be shot or stabbed or...
Zero. Zip. It's what you're going to have when I'm through with you. You hit Harry Flugelman on a bad day.
A so-called day of jihad, which is happening. It's a day of jihad. Under my administration, we will proactively send ICE to pro-jihadist demonstrations to enforce our immigration laws and remove the violators from our country. Many of these people are not from our country, and many of them are being supported with radical left money. The money from radical left people, you know who I'm talking about, will continue the process we started in my first 4 years of stripping citizenship from criminals, terrorists, and immigration cheaters and frauds.
End of flashback. Later.
300 anti-America, pro-Hamas radical students have now had their visas revoked as part of a new catch and revoke program from the White House. I'd like to settle that.
Tonight's protest calling for the release of Tufts University graduate student Ramesa Ozturk. The 30-year-old Turkish citizen here on a student visa, according to her attorney. Video obtained by NBC News shows her being detained Tuesday by 6 federal agents not wearing uniforms and masks, telling her they are the police and taking her away.
And there is no allegation that she has violated any law whatsoever.
I think it's stupid for any country in the world to welcome people into their country that are going to go to your universities as visitors. They're visitors. And say, I'm going to your university to start a riot. I'm going to your university to take over a library and harass people. I don't care what movement you're involved in. We do it every day. Every time I find one of these lunatics, I take away their visa.
Stay in hell!
You're saying it could be more than 300 people?
At some point, I hope we run out because we've gotten rid of all of them. We revoked her visa. It's an F1 visa, I believe. We revoked it, and here's why. And I'll say it again. I've said it everywhere. Let me be abundantly clear, okay? If you go apply for a visa right now, anywhere in the world, let me just send this message up. If you apply for a visa to enter the United States and be a student, and you tell us that the reason why you're coming to the United States is not because you want to write op-eds, but because you want to participate in movements that are involved in doing things like vandalizing universities, harassing students, taking over buildings, creating a ruckus, we're not going to give you a visa. If you lie to us and get a visa and then enter the United States and with that visa participate in that sort of activity, we're going to take away your visa. And once you've lost your visa, you're no longer legally in the United States, and we have a right, like every country in the world has a right, to remove you from our country. So it's just that simple. I think it's crazy. I think it's stupid for any country in the world to welcome people into their country that are going to go to your universities as visitors. They're visitors. And say, I'm going to your university to start a riot. I'm going to your university to take over a library and harass people. I don't care what movement you're involved in. Why would any country in the world allow people to come and disrupt? We gave you a visa to come and study and get a degree, not to become a social activist that tears up our university campuses. And if we've given you a visa and then you decide to do that, we're going to take it away. I encourage every country to do that, by the way, because I think it's crazy to invite students into your country that are coming onto your campus and destabilizing it. We're just not going to have it. So we'll revoke your visa, and once your visa is revoked, you're illegally in the country and you have to leave. Every country in the world has a right to decide who comes in as a visitor and who doesn't. If you invite me into your home because you say, I want to come to your house for dinner, and I go to your house and I start putting mud on your couch and spray painting your kitchen, I bet you're going to kick me out. But we're going to do the same thing if you come into the United States as a visitor and create a ruckus for us. We don't want it. We don't want it in our country. Go back and do it in your country. But you're not going to do it in our country.
And surprise, surprise, my friend, the radical left and their lunatic counterparts online have been decrying these deportations, outraged, calling it anti-free speech, which is laughably 180 degrees out of phase. Riots, taking over campus buildings, blocking roads, stopping people from freely traveling, like the idiots in Los Angeles constantly blocking the freeways. All of these things are not free speech at all. But aside from that, what makes this even more delicious and rich, to me anyway, is these are the same a-holes who have been all about cancel culture, the depersoning of anyone who doesn't adhere to their goose-stepping cult. Step out of line when it comes to the trans issue, that's it. You don't belong online, you don't belong with a job, you need to go pay penance somewhere, maybe be thrown in jail forever. Now this is an article discussing one of the latest arrests here that NBC showed us. This is from the Post-Millennial. It's titled, Tufts University Student Arrested by ICE, Department of Homeland Security cancels visa over glorifying terrorism. This is by Katie Davis-Court. She writes, a Muslim graduate student at Tufts University was taken into custody on Tuesday by federal immigration authorities. The student, 30 years old, of Turkey, has been accused of glorifying and supporting anti-Israel terrorism through her activism at the Massachusetts-based university, according to a spokesperson at the Department of Homeland Security. Ozturk is currently being held at a federal detention center in Louisiana. Now, video posted on X shows Ozturk being surrounded by at least 6 U.S. Customs and Enforcement agents on a sidewalk in Somerville, Massachusetts. She was reportedly walking to the school's interfaith center to meet friends for dinner when she was captured by ICE. In the video, an agent is seen removing Ozturk's phone from her hands before they were placed behind her back and handcuffed. She has been in the country on an F1 visa, which allows international students to pursue academic studies. So sad.
A few moments later.
Joy Campbell criticized the arrest because, of course, she did on Wednesday, saying that her office was closely monitoring this matter as it developed. Well, I hate to break it to you, Joy, but immigration is not your purview. Anyway, Campbell, the Attorney General, said, based on what we know, it is alarming that the federal administration chose to ambush and detain her. Really? Apparently targeting a law-abiding individual because of her political views. This isn't public safety, it's intimidation that will and should be closely scrutinized in court. Now, Campbell is an idiot, of course, because what are the federal government supposed to do? Let the students know in advance that we might strip their visa and or remove them from the country just so they have time to muck up the works by maybe trying to stop the deportation and or try and raise social media outrage in their defense? Yeah, that's not going to happen. Now, Katie goes on to write that according to the AP, Ozturk was targeted for co-authoring an op-ed in the Tufts Daily Campus newspaper last year demanding the university to divest from Israel and acknowledge the Palestinian genocide. The extent of any alleged involvement in anti-Israel protests on campus is unclear. Well, that alone would be enough to get rid of her in my book. We don't need that in this country. We don't need non-citizen radicals coming in here and telling us how to run our institutions. Get the hell out. Now, the Department of Homeland Security spokesperson told Fox News in a statement that DHS and ICE investigations found Ozturk engaged in activities in support of Hamas, a foreign terrorist organization that relishes the killing of Americans. A visa is a privilege, not a right. Glorifying and supporting terrorists who kill Americans is grounds for visa insurance. For issuance to be terminated, this is common sense security. Ozturk's legal team has since demanded her release from custody, because of course they have, and no charges have been filed against her. They don't need that to get rid of her.
You are out of here!